The letter with no name. Part 2. Edmund did not sleep that night. He lay awake listening to the wind press against the windows of his cottage, the journal resting on the nightstand beside him like something alive, something waiting. By morning he had made a decision, though not the one he expected of himself. He would not go to the village, not yet. First he needed to know who had written the letter, because whoever it was, they knew about the third step, the tin box, the boathouse. They had known where to lead him, and if they were still alive 30 years after Thomas Ashworth's disappearance, then someone in Whitmere had been carrying this secret in plain sight the whole time. He began, quietly, with the handwriting. Edmund had spent 3 decades reading addresses scrawled by every hand in the village. Shaky, hurried, elegant, careless. He knew handwriting the way a doctor knows a pulse. He took the letter to the small back room of the post office, where old records were kept in grey box files nobody had opened in years, and began comparing it against decades of returned mail, forms and parish notices. It took him 4 days. On the 4th evening, beneath a stack of unclaimed parcels from 1998, he found it, a form filled out for a redirected postal address, signed in the same trembling, familiar hand. The name on the form was Margaret Ashworth, Thomas's sister. Edmund sat back in his chair, the old form trembling slightly in his fingers. Margaret Ashworth was in her 70s now, and as far as he knew still lived alone in the cottage at the top of Gull Lane, the last house before the moor. He walked there the following afternoon, the letter folded in his coat pocket once more. Margaret answered the door slowly, as though she had been expecting someone, though not necessarily him. Her eyes, pale and sharp despite her age, moved from Edmund's face to the edge of the envelope peeking from his pocket, and something in her expression settled. Not surprise, but a kind of tired relief. "You found the step, then?" she said. It wasn't a question. She invited him in without waiting for an answer. Over tea that had gone cold before either of them touched it, Margaret told him what the journal had not. Thomas had written to her twice after that stormy night, once from Bristol, once, years later, from somewhere near the Scottish border, though the postmark had been smudged beyond reading. He had never come home. He had asked her, in that second letter, never to look for him and never to tell their mother the truth, who died 4 years later believing her son had drowned. His friend, the one who kept the journal, came to me before he passed, Margaret said. Said he couldn't carry it into the ground with him. Said someone ought to know even if no one else ever did. So I wrote the letter. I didn't know who'd find it. I only knew the post office bag went through enough hands eventually. "Why not simply tell me yourself?" Edmund asked. Margaret looked toward the window, toward the grey line of the sea just visible beyond the moor. "Because some truths need to be found, Mr. Harlow, not given. A thing you're given, you can set aside. A thing you find, you carry differently." Edmund left Gull Lane as the light was fading, the letter still in his pocket, though it felt lighter now, or perhaps he simply understood its weight differently. He never told the village. There seemed in the end little point. Thomas Ashworth's mother was long gone, his sister asked for nothing but silence, and the friend who had kept the secret for 30 years had already answered for it in his own quiet way. Some stories, Edmund decided, were not his to finish, only his to carry a little further, and then gently to set down. The lighthouse still stood above Whitmere, unlit and unused, and some evenings Edmund found himself walking the cliff path just to see it, not searching for anything now, only remembering that somewhere beneath its floor for 30 years a truth had waited patiently in the dark. Not every mystery ends with an answer for everyone. Sometimes it ends with peace for just one person, and that too is enough.